I got my co-host here with me today. She don't let me get very far. How's everybody doing this morning? Hello, Pat, Kevin, John, Don. How y'all doing this morning? You guys let everybody know that we're up and going. Well, we're going to do a little coffee with conversation this morning. And I'm going to give this a couple of minutes just so Facebook can get out the notifications, because they haven't been giving out the notifications at all. Facebook is not sending anything out to let people know that we're live. So, guys, if you can, just let everybody know that we're up and going. We're going to go from there. Facebook has been keeping me from doing things here lately. Like on the Woman's Warrior page, I've tried to comment a couple of times, and they've kept me from doing that. They kept me from sharing things. I don't know why, but for some reason, Facebook is kind of keeping me from doing things. So, Bobby Massard, how you doing? No chemtrails, huh? Hey, Dennis, how's it going? Hey, Carol, how's it going? Doing good. So, just going to give this just a touch more so we can get things going and then go from there and see what we all get accomplished. Oh, we still got chemtrails down here, Don. Helen Latour, how are you doing? Hey, Ed, how's it going? MC Horses by Ian Tyson. I used to work on the MC Ranch in my younger days. They had some pretty rank horses back then, but that's been back when you're young and dumb and you think you could ride anything and everything, and you didn't care how rank they was, you just crawled on them. Helen is reporting from Facebook jail. There you go. There you go. Well, I'm glad you're here, Helen. Hey, Stephen, how's it going? I hope things are going good for you up there in Oregon. All right, well, I just wanted to come on this morning. I know it's kind of late compared to when I normally do these, but I figure, you know, coffee's good any time of the day. I've already been up and going and at it since about 5 o'clock this morning. But I figured I would go ahead and do a coffee with conversation. Just, hey, quit playing with everything. Oh, good gosh. But I figured I'd come up here and do a coffee with conversation because I want to talk to you guys about something. I've had a lot of people here lately. No more than normal, but I still have a lot of people asking me, What can we do to stop the government? And how do we stand up against the wrong laws that's being perpetrated onto us? Now, I have to answer this question with a question. So you guys bear with me. I'm going to answer this with a question. Hey, Callie, how you doing? Oh, Ed's getting some rain. There you go. Rain's always a good thing. Are we standing up and fighting against these bad laws, the wrong laws, the right way? Are we standing up against the government the right way? Are we standing up against anybody that is doing us wrong the right way? So when you look at the auspices of how do we stand up the right way to the wrong laws that's being perpetrated upon us, that's the question. That is the question. You know, voicing our opinions is one thing. Does that do any good? No. Signing petitions, sending those in, does that do any good? No, it doesn't. Because we have so many cronies, good old boy deals in one spot, that we don't have it. So we have to look at how we're doing things. Well, I got a cat over here. She can't figure out what the heck she's going to do. One of the things that's coming down the pike that I feel so honored to be and privileged to help work on is me and Stephen Tolliver, Crazy Horse, is going to be doing a series of shows. There's a hell of a lot of information. I will tell you this right now. I downloaded it on my computer because it is so huge. There is so much to it that, in all honesty, it would probably take, we're planning on a solid year, if not just shy of a year, and bringing you these series to talk about this kind of stuff. There is so much. Let's put it this way. There's 689 pages worth of stuff that we want to inform you guys of the right way to do things, how we can take this country back. And that's another thing too. People think we take our country back by taking on the government, by taking on the establishment. That's not how we do it. It's not how we do it at all. You've seen already what happens when we try to take on the establishment. They unleash their hounds of hell, i.e. Antifa, i.e. Black Lives Matter. You know, they keep talking about the KKK. What do you think Antifa is? What do you think Black Lives Matter is? It's just another group of individuals that they have put together on a different demographic, just like the KKK. And this was formed by our government. It really was. But it's just a different demographic. So you have to look at things. The KKK was established to create hell and havoc against a race of people in an idea to go against something that was good, about giving a race of people a voice. Now, you look at Antifa. Antifa was established to go against patriots and individuals in the republic that are tired of being under somebody's thumb and being constantly drilled into the ground. It has been established and built up through lies, deception, manipulation in order to do the same thing against a group of people as a whole. And what they've done is they have strategically placed these groups in certain places. Portland, Oregon, for example. Let's just take Portland for an example. I've been to Portland many times in my life. At one time, Portland was a nice place. It's not no more. It's a shithole. And I ain't going to lie about it. It is. I love the state of Oregon, but I do not like what's happening to it. I loved working in Oregon on different ranches. It was beautiful, just like I loved working in California on different ranches, and it was beautiful. But it's not no more. But Antifa was established by the government and entities within the government to destroy the patriotic movement and the will of the people. They had the perfect setting, the perfect ideology to follow. The SS, the Nazis, Hitler, the brown shirts. Because everything that you're doing is exactly what the brown shirts did, exactly what the SS does, everything. So you have to look at that. Now we got Black Lives Matter. Okay. Black Lives Matter is still another organization that was started by racist individuals that you won't see out amongst the people doing their evil doings. Oh no, their happy ass is going to be in a three-piece suit talking in a microphone somewhere, being paid by Black Lives Matter. And at the same time, these individuals that's in charge of this are the same individuals that went to the White House who owe so much money in back taxes that it's unreal. People, you got to start putting two and two together. Now we have that. Now, how do we stand up against that? That is the question. Are we going to change what our government is doing without changing ourselves first? Now, this is just a question. And that's how you got to answer this. And you got to answer it with the question. Do we change our perspective first? Do we change ourselves first as a slave, a citizen of the United States of America Corporation? See, and this is one thing too, this is federal law. And anybody that owns a business and runs a business knows this, that anytime you send out anything with your letterhead on there or anything with your business name on it, it has to have the type of corporation that it is, whether it be an LLC, a PLLD, incorporated, whatever. You have to have that besides the business name. But guess what? Who is not doing that? The United States of America. But it's well documented that it is a corporation. But you don't ever see paperwork with the United States of America Corporation, do you? Why is that? How come they can get away with it, but people that have a business can't? You will be prosecuted for that. You will be held liable for that. You will be held in contempt for that. Why is that? So, what it boils down to is we have to fix ourselves first. We really do. We got to fix ourselves first before we can fix our government. Now, how do we go about fixing ourselves first? That is the ultimate question. And you're sitting here thinking, what the hell do you mean fix ourselves first? Why do we need to fix ourselves? There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. What I'm doing is absolutely right. Is it? Is what you're doing right? Or is what you're doing wrong? critical thinking time. If you're doing something right, why are you a debitor? If you're doing everything in your life right, why are you a debitor and not a creditor? If you're doing everything right in your life, why you're not sovereign? Why are you still a slave to the United States government? Got a phone call here. Hello.
Yeah, I told you I was calling in.
There you go.
Crazy horse.
There you go. Good morning, Crazy Horse. How's it going?
Good. I'm sitting there watching you, and I'm going like, man, this dude must have did some reading last night after we hung up.
Little bit. Let's put it this way. When I shut my eyes, my brain hurt.
And I'm telling you, it's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah.
And what we've got to, reiterate time and time again is we must throw away our concept of everything that we've been taught.
Yep.
In order to start to fix ourselves and go in the right direction, we must get rid of everything we've been taught about America, about who we are and what we are allowed to do. Okay?
Right.
People, I've been listening. I've said it many times in the past, 4 or 5 decades. Okay? That, we're a republic. We're not a democracy. As we get into these series of shows, people are going to see that when in the 1800s, when the United States, when Washington, D.C. incorporated, we automatically became a democracy socialist country.
Yep, that we did. We automatically became slaves. As a people, we became slaves to the corporation.
Yes.
And the wording is actually in there. When you actually read it, the wording is there that now we have become property of the corporation.
Right. And what is going to be so exciting is we're going to teach everybody how to become sovereign without lawyers, without going to court, and at very little cost to themselves. If we would ask everybody what their definition of freedom is, we'd probably get 1 million different replies.
Yeah.
Okay. But in order to change our government, you said it, we have to change ourselves. And our warfare against a tyrannical government, I'm telling you, the more I read in this thing, the more I realize our tactics are wrong. We are attacking it from the wrong point of view and in the wrong way.
Right.
Okay? And I cannot wait until we start doing these series. I'm going to be getting some technical equipment. My son is going to show me and tell me what I need to buy so so we can do, a professional type show.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read comments because I'm not on Facebook right now. In order to call in, I had to shut you off.
Right. Well, Don Crawford asked, why do we got a Social Security number? In layman terms, Don, layman terms, it's a way for them to track us.
Yeah.
And they use that Social Security number in a banking system. Gets money is by your Social Security number.
Okay. And another thing I want to explain to people, now I'm going to explain it from the Wizard of Oz part of the book, when they refer to the Wizard of Oz. Okay? You have the Scarecrow, who is the straw man. Okay? And then you have the Tin Man, who is TIN. And what is that? Tax identification number. Okay? That's why they got the Social Security card numbers. Okay? And when you're born, they calculate how much taxes they can generate from you, and they borrow from the Federal Reserve that exact amount.
Mm-hmm.
So you're born into debt automatically.
Now you have to think back. You got to think back also. When did the Federal Reserve come into existence? Okay.
Well, Federal Reserve, the world banking was in existence since before Jesus was ever
Right.
crucified.
Right. So
when the Roman Empire came into existence.
Right. So it's
okay. But when it came to the United States, in 1933, well, actually 1913.
Right.
But it wasn't implemented until FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, came up with the Great New Deal. Okay. And just sold us all up the river.
Yeah.
Okay. I want people to know that when you go to the bank and you deposit $100, you and I talked about this last night.
Yeah.
Okay. When let's say you take $100, you deposit it in your bank account, and you think you have $100 in the bank, and you think as you Chapman get back, as you withdraw it or you use it for writing a check or you use a debit card, you think you're using your money, but you're not. You're given debt from the Federal Reserve. What the bank is allowed to do, according to the corporation, is they put that $100 of yours on the shelf and they leave it there. And they never give it back to you. And in 3 years' time, they are allowed to petition the court that you abandoned that $100, and it's theirs free and clear, tax-free.
Amazing, isn't it? You think you got money in the bank, but yet at the same time, the bank is going behind your back, filing an abandonment claim on your money. Therefore, they get it.
Yep. Because the money that you go to the teller window and say, oh, I'd like to withdraw $20 from my account. They're not giving you your $100. They're giving you Federal Reserve debt.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's another thing to think about too, and I know this is kind of sounding weird, but when you put money into the bank and your bank account says, oh, you have a credit of X amount of money, you don't. You have a debit of X amount of money, and your debit keeps adding up. You have no credit at all.
So, Chris, it's very, very imperative for us to finish reading this book. And then we will tell everybody the title of the book. We will then, so they can follow along as we teach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give the name of the book away as yet.
Right.
Because of the complex, comprehension that it takes to understand this book.
And it is that. It is very complex. It's nothing but critical thinking, in all honesty. But also it's an understanding of the written word. It's comprehending. It's not understanding. You must comprehend what you're going to read.
Right.
You must comprehend what you're going to hear, which is a lot different than understanding. And the thing about what we're going to do is we're going to tell you, and we're going to teach you, and we're going to help you know that to fight these laws the right way, to stand up to the government the right way, you have to fix yourself first and then do it. Now, here's the nice thing. Here's the nice thing about this, ladies and gentlemen. They use the Wizard of Oz. They use the Matrix 1, 2, and 3, but they also have scripture. There is also scripture that correlates everything that's going on. And so you combine those three, how can we be wrong? And the author of this did his research big time. So it's
and another thing that I really like about it is it clearly states in there that we are to be obedient unto God first.
Yep.
Okay? Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
And who gave us our unalienable rights?
Unalienable or unalienable?
It's the original wording in the original Constitution was unalienable. And the book will help you understand what it means, unalienable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Meaning, only you can hold yourself in debt.
Right.
God gave us our, what is your first right? Not only in the United States, but all over the world. What is your first right? It's in the preamble. It's in the Declaration of Independence. Kevin Holland did a piece on it this morning.
I didn't get to watch him this morning.
Okay. Your first right. It's not the First Amendment. It's not even in the amendments. It's in the preamble. It's in the Declaration of Independence. Your first real, true right is the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And who gave you that right?
The good Lord up above.
God is, the moment you're born, God has given you that right.
Right.
Okay? And this is why I think, if you read the Bible in Genesis, you're reading about people who lived to be 456 years old, people who lived to be 700 and some years old. It's because they lived by God's rule, God's law, and they obeyed God. But we were born into sin. Okay? But when you finally realize that your contract in life is with God, not man.
Right.
You know, look at me. I do not look my age. I don't feel my age. And I don't move like a 69-year-old man. It's because through my life, I've always tried to do one thing, okay, is treat people with the love and respect that God shows me.
And that's just it. And that's where, you know, I've done shows before. We have religion, but have we lost God? You guys probably remember those shows that I've done covering that subject. But here's the nice thing. When we start doing this, you're going to see how it all correlates. Everything that's been told to us about the good Lord up above and about how we're supposed to live our life correlates with what our founding fathers truly meant for this republic to be. And when it comes together, you're going to realize, and it's not going to take very long for you to realize, we have been fighting this the wrong way. We have been standing up the wrong way. We have been living our lives the wrong way because we are in a matrix. And this is something that you and I have talked about too, the movies. I know there's a lot of bad things going on in Hollywood and this, that, and the other, but you guys got to think about something. The movies that have been coming out have been telling us what the government's doing, what's happening really in our lives, what's going to happen.
If you go back 50 years, movies for the past 50 years, you have it wasn't until like 20 years ago, people did not really see it until about 20 years ago. But Hollywood and the movies, our society is mirroring the movies of what Hollywood is showing.
Mm-hmm.
Mass shootings, violence, hatred, rebellion against the government,
Right.
Fighting the system the wrong way. Look at the Terminator.
Yep.
Okay, look at that movie. That movie is actually showing us the more we fight the system with violence, we're going to be the ones oppressed and violently genocide.
Right. Exactly. There's even a movie that goes back to the 70s, maybe early 80s. It's called Logan's Run. I don't know if you guys ever remember that movie.
That was the 70s. That movie was in, if I'm not mistaken, it was 1976, Logan's Run, and where you had this thing in the palm of your hand.
Yep.
And when you reached a certain age, you were to be euthanized.
Right. But then there was a group of people that wanted something different. They were trying to find freedom away from this dictatorship. Even back then, they were telling us that the government controls everything. And that there are people out there who's trying to do something different. And see, that's just it. That's us today. We're trying to tell you there's something better out there than being under government control.
Yes.
You know, and they got people that hunted those people down. Well, that's what happens now. We got people that's hunting us down by way of censorship, by way of the alphabet agencies coming knocking on our doors saying you must cease and desist or you're going to jail. You know, then they pass legislation, Homeland Security Act, which they can come get us and put us somewhere and not tell anybody. You know, so.
Oh, yeah, the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Patriot Act. Yeah, it's just like this movie that Hollywood decided they're not going to show is the one about, you know, Democrats, liberals hunting down Trump supporters.
Right.
And conservatives. Now, Hollywood decided not to do that, not to show it.
Right.
And there's a reason, because that movie is going to tell the people our future from after Trump is out of office, whether it be in 2021 or 2024.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he leaves January, whenever in 2025, this is the Democrats' agenda for any conservative or any person that ever supported Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that your vote is so secret, they already know who voted for Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
They know each person that voted for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you what, there's a hit list for not only the donors, but for every voter.
Right. And that's where this series that we're gonna be doing, and like I said, this thing's probably going to take a good part of a year to do. So you guys are going to have to take a lot of notes because there's a lot of information, and it's all critical thinking, and it's all, you're going to have this bullshit moment. You're going to have this moment where you're kind of like, bullshit, and you're going to get mad, you're going to get angry, you're going to be confused, you're going to be disgusted, you're going to be kind of like bewildered, you're going to be kind of like, well, where in the hell's all this coming from? Is this true? Is this fake?
We also got to say, hey, there's going to be certain people that are going to like, no, I don't believe that.
Right.
I'm not willing to accept this information.
Yeah.
I cannot fathom my government ever doing this to me. But guess what? It's all one world order that they're pushing for.
You know, and as we do this, you're going to want to involve your family and your friends. And I guarantee you, even in your own family, they're not going to believe you, just because it is so intense. It goes against everything we've been told, showed, learned our entire life. It goes against all of it. And that's where this is so important. This is where this is very, very important. And
I've got a title for our series.
Okay.
The Great American Awakening. That's our series.
We might have to copyright that.
We just might have to.
You know, and you know, I'm sitting here kind of laughing and snickering, but I tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and this is after the little bit of reading I've done last night, you know, and I got to thinking about of all the years that I've listened to ranch hands talk about what's going on, because that's what I do. I've worked ranches my whole life, but I've also dealt with businessmen. I've also dealt with, when I was shoeing horses, I shoed horses for anybody and everybody you can ever imagine. And I've heard people my entire life talking about all of this stuff. And I tell you what, this is serious stuff. It really is. This is not, but you can't let it consume you to the point to where it overtakes you, because it can't, because there is so much. Now, here's another nice thing. The stuff we're going to be covering, I've heard bits and pieces of it my entire life, but I've never put two and two together. This brings it together. This is the beginning grounds for us to stand up and finally say we're going to fix ourselves. That way we can go about the right way of taking on the deep state, taking on the corrupt governments, even in your state and your county and your own cities. But you got to fix yourself first. And that's going to be the tough part, because human nature is to be scared of something you don't know anything about. And trust me, you don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So you're going to be scared.
You know, we think we know what it takes for self-preservation. I'm telling you, since I started reading this, we know nothing about self-preservation.
Right.
We're indoctrinated to do this, to be, you know, to preserve our life.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been lied to our whole entire lives that we're free.
Right.
We're not. We're not.
Right. Yeah, we're not free at all.
This has all been designed since 1492.
We have there's Greek terminologies. You can pull out the Black's Law Dictionary. You can pull out all the legal books that you want. But when you really start comprehending the laws as they are written today, even going way back then, you will start understanding just how much of a slave you really are. And that does not deal with skin color or nationality or where you come, where your family originally come from. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you are a slave to the corporation. That's what it has to deal with. And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
So the critical thinking aspect, there's going to be the learning curve on this thing. Do you think the learning curve is going to be extremely high, moderate, what?
Oh, God. I can't even begin to put a learning curve on it.
Let's put it this way. We've always heard when you go up that mountain just to keep going forward, keep pushing forward. This is what's going to have to happen, because when you start learning to change yourself, you're going to have to change everything about your whole thought process.
Yeah.
And everything. And trust me, it's scary.
When I first started reading this book, and I got past all this other stuff, and I finally started to read the book. You know, I got past the acknowledgments, the preface, the three movies, the movie, setups. It reminded me of one song, One Tin Soldier.
Yeah. I agree. That's where, bringing that up, that's where the sound of silence really comes in too. Because, our society has made neon gods. Our society has become a realm of silence. But at the same time, you look at both those songs, and there's probably a lot of other songs that can correlate to this. And it's scary. In all honesty, it really is scary. Just how much meaning they really have to what's happening today.
Well, the reason why it reminded me of One Tin Soldier from the old Billy Jack or the Billy Jack movie.
Mm-hmm.
But One Tin Soldier, TIN, the one world banking system, the one world order.
Right.
Okay. It made me examine that song. On a mountain, let me tell you a story that happened long ago. Okay. How this is set up. That the gold, the silver, the treasure up in the mountain, and the mountain people wanted to keep it for their very own. All the riches, the one world banking, and how the TIN, the banking system, wins. Because after the battle's done and after all the fighting and stuff, One Tin Soldier walks away, and that's the bank.
Yeah. There is no bank that's ever been established that sets themselves up to fail. Never.
Right.
Never.
Savings and loans, they were allowed to fail because they weren't a bank.
Mm-hmm.
They were not really a bank in the banking system, in the Federal Reserve banking system. But who controls government? Corporations.
Yes, corporations and money.
Okay, who controls corporations? The bank.
And who controls the bank?
Who sets the World Bank?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Who sets market values?
The government.
The bank. No, the bank sets the market values. Tells the government this is what the market, and then the government says, okay, this is the market value. Who rates all the bills before they're introduced on the floor in Congress. Your corporate lobbyists, they write the fucking bills,
right?
And then they just bribes the representatives to put their name on it and say, "Oh, yeah,
right,"
and introduce the bill.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Okay? And this book is going to show everybody how to escape the matrix.
And that's the easiest terminology. That's the easiest terminology to put it in that people can understand.
Yeah. And it's going to teach you how to go to peace, not to war, against the matrix.
Right. Right.
I gotta get rolling, but I just had to jump in and get in on this discussion with you, and hopefully we got some people excited.
I think so.
Wait.
I'm looking at some of the comments, and to tell you what, this is going to be fun. Thanks for calling in, though.
Okay.
All right.
You have a good day, everybody. Enjoy.
All right. Talk to you later. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. But yeah, I mean, he's right. There's some now. Kenny Henley says you can't change a liberal. That's wrong. You actually can. You can enlighten people to start thinking. But see, here we go again. We have a group of people that have been manipulated, have been brainwashed, have been constantly told this, this, and this. But once they start seeing the reality, then they'll understand how much they've been lied to. You know, and I got to disagree with that. You can't change a liberal. Kenny, there is a lot of ex-liberals that follow this show and other shows. I've had 5 ex-liberals following this show since the day I started it almost 4 years ago. They won't vote Democrat no more. They don't have nothing to do with Democrats. I actually have a Democrat who's still a Democrat, and he still lives in Massachusetts, and he still follows my show, but he won't vote liberal. But he is a Democrat. So people do change. Their whole thought process change when they start seeing the right way and the true way and the real way. But see, what we get them down to here is we have a society that has been numb mentally because they've been told the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, my God, look at it. It's been in the advertisements. It's been in the music. It's been on TV. It's been on radio. It's been in magazines. It's all over social media. Is one way of doing things overrules everything else. And you have to really start doing some critical thinking to understand this. Now, that's one thing I've done with this show since the day I started almost 4 years ago. Even on my very first show, I said, you guys need to do some research. It's time to do some critical thinking. And I'm not doing these shows to talk at you. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you. And I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk with you. And the only way I can talk with you is for you to research, you to start doing some critical thinking on your own, you to take what information that I'm putting out there, even my opinions, and see what's what and go from there. Now, one of the things too is this. Nobody can do it for you. Only you can. I can't do it for you. I can tell you information. I can tell you what these bills are that they're bringing out. I can give you my opinion on things. I can read you all the proof there is to have. But until you start doing it and you start comprehending it, not understanding it, but comprehending it, then you will go, holy crap, what's been going on this entire time? And that's where I've aligned myself with certain people that's helped me open my eyes up and see this kind of stuff. Now, I will tell you this, this came this morning from another phone call I had. That, hey, Debbie Harms, how you doing? That we might get censored, not only from this entity that I'm on right now, but also from the alphabet groups, the alphabet agencies. We might get censored. He told me, this guy I was talking to this morning, said, you know, you never know. You might open that door up first thing in the morning and you'll have a red dot on you somewhere because they don't want you to know about this. And they don't. They don't want you to know anything about this. But it's important that you guys do learn about this. You guys do hear about this because it's going to help you change yourself first. And once you change yourself, then we can start changing our communities. Then we can start changing our state, our counties, and our federal government. And this process is not fast. It's slow and it's time consuming. And it can be all consuming for some of you, especially if you are the type that thinks about things and then tears it apart a million different ways. It can be all consuming. But the nice thing about it is we're going to be doing this so you can learn how to stand up, change yourself, and then we can go after all these fake laws. We can go after our fake government. We can go after the fake individuals. Now, we read some stuff in this thing last night, and it's going to cover things from all the UCC information that you're going to need to know about. It's going to cover the original 13th Amendment, but it's also going to cover how our government can be considered a fraud. Amazing, isn't it? And that's where these shows are not going to be small, but they're going to be in depth. And this is, it's going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. And that's the way I've designed all of my shows ever since I've been doing them, is so you guys can start thinking for yourselves. Don't think, that's why I don't cover the national headlines. I don't, because that's fake shit. That is, it's all fake. It's all made up. It's stuff to direct your attention away from what's really happening in our republic. Because the corporation does one thing. The corporation lives on deception, misdirection, misguiding, and everything crooked that you could ever imagine. Because if not, can somebody tell me when the last time the corporation of the United States of America did something right where every person living in this great country and in this republic benefited? When was the last time that happened, in all honesty? Or did we go to war to hide the misdirection, the manipulation, the theft, the bribery, the lies? Did we go into conflict to try to direct people away from what's really happening? And that's what these shows are about. That's why I surround myself with individuals that help me grow every single day, just by phone calls or calling each other on Facebook Messenger and talking about this stuff. I come across stuff that I need help with, so I call people. I do my own research. It's just me in this great big house. This 100-year-old house, it's just me alone. But I find time to do the research. I don't have TV, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to see this crap that they're throwing out to us every single day. I want to learn what's right and what's wrong. And like you said, the Matrix is part of this. And you will learn how the Matrix has been controlling us for so long. My entire life, and I'm 54, going to be 55 at the end of the month. So with this series, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to it, we get ready to start doing it. We're going to inform you all on where you can go get this information so you can follow along, because it is intense. Let's just say this. There is 682 pages total to this thing. That's a lot of information. That is a hell of a lot of information. And this isn't going to be like Alex Jones. This isn't going to be like anybody out there doing shows like this. Do I fully expect to have a cease and desist order put on me? Yeah, I do. Do I fully expect to have people knocking on my door? Yeah. Do I expect to have more drones flying above my house, which has already done that before? Yes, I do. But that's okay, because this is stuff you guys need to know. You guys need to hear this, because trust me, they don't want you to hear this. They don't want you to know anything about this. So, yes, Stephen Farley, it is a real eye-opener. And this is, you're really going to go, holy crap, what is going on? You know, but, and this is good for Republicans. It's good for liberals. It's good for moderates. It's good for independents, constitutionalists, libertarians, Green Party. It's good for everybody. It will not do anybody harm to learn this. If anything, it will make you better. And don't ever let anybody tell you that this stuff you're going to be learned about will not help you get better at understanding who you really are. Because it will. Because if they're telling you that's all a crock of crap, it's all lies, none of that's going to help you, you can look at that one of two ways. And they're jealous or they're scared. And it is human nature to be scared of something you don't know anything about. And trust me, I don't know anything about this stuff, but I've been reading it. I'm just going to say, atomic bomb in my brain times 10. That's how important this stuff is. You know, and we got to keep our heads straight. We really do. We've created the problems that we live in. Now it's time to learn how to fix the problems so we can change the way we are living. We got to learn how to change things in order to make things better. And this is the first step. Because with all the questions I've been getting asked, how do we fix this? How do we change things for the better? How can we stop the lies, the deception, manipulation? How can we stop all of this? This is it. And then you will be able to stand up the right way to all the wrong laws. So, but we will keep you guys informed. We will keep you guys in tune to what's happening. We will not hold anything back when we start this whole process. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my coffee for conversation this morning. I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys being here. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, because this is going to be intense. And I do know that while we're doing this series, I'm going to talk with Stephen, but we're going to be bringing people in also that are experts that have already done this to help explain things in layman terms. And they're going to help be able to guide you in understanding what is happening. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I really am. So that series is coming up. And like I say, it could take better part of a year to do the entire thing. So you got to stay tuned, because this is going to be huge. Also, on a final note, I am looking at doing a show. There is a lady right now out in the state of Colorado who's from Kansas. You guys have probably seen her. You might be friends with her on Facebook. She's trying to start a ranching operation, KLR, Kitty's Long Branch Ranch, and she's doing it as a nonprofit to help teenage boys get a start in life. Because we know there is tons of them out there that are having hell right now, that might be coming from broken homes, that might be having problems with the law, that does not have a start in life. And this lady's trying to start something in order to help those young men. So I'm going to do a show with her probably next week is what I'm thinking. I've already talked to this lady in depth, and I liked everything that she's trying to do, and she's trying to do it on her own. And it's been a struggle for 2 years so far for her. So I'm going to do this show with her. I've thought about this. I've prayed about it, and I'm going to do this show because she has taken time out of her own personal life, and she has a dream on what she wants to accomplish. And I think you guys need to hear about this. So that show will probably be next week. I'm going to get with her over the weekend, and we're going to get it set up. And it's going to be a long show. So it'll probably be an evening show. And it might be a morning show. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. But once we do it, you guys will know. I will be posting stuff about it. And I'll make it kind of as an event thing. So you guys might get your notifications. But so, guys, that's my Coffee with Conversation this morning. I appreciate all of you being here. I love each and every one of you. I love the commitment that you guys have made to make this republic back. And the nice thing is this. Once we learn how to change ourselves, we can change our republic and get it back to where our forefathers wanted this country to be. So, all right, guys. I've got one thing left to say. Thank each and every one of you here. Julie Goldberg, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. There's a bunch of you that's been on here today I've never seen before, and I want to thank you for being here. But the last thing I got to say is this. If you sit on a wooden fence too long, you're going to get splinters in your butt. So get your ass up. Put your feet down, pull them splinters out, and go forwards. Never, ever, ever, no matter what, don't ever go backwards. Go forwards. Let's change ourselves so we can make our republic better, and that way we will get our republic back. I love you guys. God bless you. God bless the people of the republic. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.